Hello girls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily if you're new here, and I'm really excited for this video because I feel like it is very overdue. I'm gonna be filming a Q&A. I need the coffee. I asked you guys in my Instagram stories a few weeks ago just to like submit some like fun little questions for us to like chat about in this video. And if you can't tell, I sound weird. I feel like my ears, like I haven't been able to hear out of them for like 2 weeks, but I ended up getting a cold and then it was my birthday. And so I'm kind of filming this video a little bit later than I wanted, but nonetheless, we are filming it. I was gonna maybe like get ready while I answered these questions, but I am so bad at multitasking. And I feel like for the questions I'm answering, I really need to like chat. And so I was like, let's scratch that. And I'm just gonna do a little craft while we chat. So basically last year from Walmart, I bought these like huge Easter eggs. They're fun in theory, but my family jokes and we call them my ostrich eggs because they look kind of like realistic. I don't know, they're just like huge and like kind of odd. So I was thinking I could cut off the top, and then I've been seeing people for like years now, I feel like on TikTok and stuff, kind of like paper macheing with napkins onto things. And I was like, I wonder if I could put cutie napkins with like Mod Podge and like kind of cover these to make them like patterned and fun to like throw in like a basket or something. It could be an epic fail, but honestly, I think they were $1 a piece and I already have a few of them. So I was like, I might as well just like try and do something. If it doesn't turn out super cute, whatever. At least I just did like a fun little craft. So that's what I'm gonna be working on while I answer these questions. If you have a craft or anything you wanna pull out, go ahead and grab it and we will chat. Oh, and make a coffee because coffee's always needed. Okay, so I have my little questions on my phone. I'm gonna leave it right here, but the first one I feel like is just kind of a generic one, but someone asked how old I was, and it makes me wonder, I'm like, how old do you guys think I am? Some of y'all might know because maybe you followed me for a while, and it was just my birthday, so I did just post, I feel like, my age. I can't, oh, okay, we got it off. I feel like that's not terrible, but I just am wondering, I'm like, how old do I look? But my feelings might get hurt, so maybe don't tell me because I don't know, I'm kind of nervous now. I'm like, how old do people think I am? But I just turned 26. My birthday is March 1st, which, fun fact, is the same birthday as Justin Bieber. That used to be like the biggest flex for me growing up. I love to tell people that. And so now at the age of 26, I still tell everyone that I have the same birthday as Justin Bieber. I was gonna paint my nails last night. They're kind of chipping, but I was like, I should do that after this project because I feel like I'm gonna have glue all over my hands. Also, these are all the napkins I have to try and cover with. I have this like tulip one, these little plaid ones, and then I think I showed you guys this one already, but I feel like they're kind of cute together. So if this turns out good, having a few eggs and like the fun patterns, I feel like that's super fun. I think I'm gonna try this one first. Okay, sorry, next question. When did you start your business / how long have you been running ATLA? So this is one that is like kind of hard for me to answer. So I technically started with how my business, I'll give you like the whole rundown. Basically, I started posting my art online. I would say I started posting my like lettering in I think 2018 on Instagram. And so basically I would just literally post my art online and it would just get reshares, and I think that's why my Instagram grew, because people were just like reposting my quotes and things that I was lettering. And so that kind of just like organically happened where I got a little bit of a following from posting like my lettering, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I should turn some of these like posts and like graphics that I'm making into stickers. And so stickers were the first product that I ever sold, and it was just so funny. I'll have to see if I have a photo of like my first ever stickers and I'll put it on the screen. But my style and just everything is so different. But granted, I was like 18, 19 years old. Like, of course, my vibes and just like style have changed, and I plan on them continuing to change like as I run the business. But it's just funny to look back because I don't know, it's just the things I was creating kind of just make me smile. But yeah, I basically started with stickers, and then I kind of just kept escalating from there. I never obviously like, I never took out a loan or had any help financially starting my business. So I spent a little bit on stickers, sold those, used the profits for stickers to then make prints. Prints, I believe, were my next product. So I like sold my art in like little prints, and then I just kind of kept going from there. Eventually I did t-shirts, crew necks. Those were like the more high dollar things where I had to spend a lot more money up front. But it just all really happened so organically. So that's why when people ask like, when did you start your business? I feel like it's so tricky for me because I'm like, I wasn't really trying to start a business. I just started posting my lettering online and kind of just like let it organically happen. I really feel like God, all of this was a God thing, because I was supposed to actually, I applied to go to school for graphic design and I didn't get into the school I wanted to. It's a local one. It's super competitive because I went to community college, so I was a transfer, and when you're a transfer going into this school, it's like even harder to get in. And so I don't know why I like thought I would, because I guess I just was trying to be hopeful and like assume that like what I was creating was really fun and would get me into this school, but I didn't get in, and that kind of crushed me for a little bit. But then I woke up one day, and this is how I know it was God. I just felt like this overwhelming peace, and I was like, I don't need their validation to pursue my art. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna like start posting my art online. I'm just gonna like see what my style is and kind of just like grow from there. And I'm so glad that that happened looking back on it, because who knows, like if I would have gotten into the graphic design school, I probably would have just gotten a job out of school, which is totally fine. Like if that was like the path I was supposed to be on, that would have just been my path. But I'm very thankful for how everything turned out. But that being said, don't really have like a crazy start date, I guess. Like I don't even really know when you would say I started my business, but I usually say like 2018, usually like May, I think is when I say, because I think that's when I posted my first stickers, maybe May of 2018. I know I just kind of like went on a rant, but I feel like I get those questions a lot, and it's like really hard for me to explain because I don't know, there's more to it than just like, oh, I started my business. Also, I'm just like throwing the napkin on here. I have no idea if this is gonna work at all. Okay, the next question. Have you experienced a creative rut before? If so, any tips on how to get out of it? Oh my goodness, yes. I feel like any creative person has definitely experienced like burnout, or if you want to call it creative rut, whatever it might be. Yes, I've experienced every possibility of this. I like laid this out wrong. This is actually kind of hard because it's an egg, like this is tricky. But yes, I've definitely experienced burnout. Having a creative job, I'm very creative brained. Having to like also run a full-on business, it can definitely exhaust me a little bit, and I feel like I'm constantly making decisions, and I have major decision fatigue. I'm not good at making decisions. And so anytime like, I don't know, we're like working on a lot of new products, I feel like creatively I'm forced, I'm kind of put on the spot. So like for example, it was Valentine's Day recently. I knew I wanted a Valentine's Day collection. That's when I can sometimes get burnt out, because I know I'm like, okay, I want to have a crew neck, maybe a t-shirt, and then maybe I wanted to make a koozie. I didn't make a Valentine's Day koozie, but theoretically, let's say I know I want to make a few products, then I just feel like I have pressure. It's like, okay, what crew neck am I gonna make? Okay, what koozie? And then sometimes I'm making stuff months before it's gonna launch, and I'm like, am I even gonna still like this design in a few months? Like, it's just so hard. And it's definitely like, I know I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining because I love my job, but the burnout is definitely real. So if you're facing that, know that you are not alone. I don't think any human could possibly not feel burnout. It's like, if you know how to never feel burnout, let me know. This is so hard. It's just like rolling. Good thing I put paper down. I'm probably doing this in the worst way ever. I'm literally just tearing this napkin and I'm just throwing it on here because I don't really care if it's messy looking. I don't know, I think that's kind of the fun of it. And it's looking like soaked right now, but once this Mod Podge dries, I think it'll be kind of cute. Ooh, am I supposed to, I feel like people on TikTok tear off this layer. I think I was supposed to do that. Okay, we're gonna try that now. But in terms of like tips on how I kind of combat creative burnout, sometimes literally just I need time and I can't really force myself out of it. I will say usually getting off my phone is the best step. Normally if I'm burnt out, a lot of it is because I'm comparing myself on social media. That's a huge one for me. I feel like there are just so many amazing creative girls, and this is not me taking away from their light. They're amazing and creative, but then I get really hard on myself because they're just so amazing. I'm like, I'm not creating content that fun and engaging, or my products aren't that cute, or that's such a good idea, like how did they come up with that? And I don't know, I'll just like compare myself. So usually getting off my phone is a great place to start, and just doing something like this, like literally a mindless craft, is so great. And then another thing is Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Obviously I guess you could kind of compare yourself when you go on Pinterest, but I don't. Like I have a very healthy relationship with Pinterest, whereas like my relationship with Instagram and like TikTok and things is not always healthy. I feel like it's usually pretty good, but not always great. And so for me, usually getting off my phone into real life, into the real world, going for walks, and just kind of like simplifying my life usually helps me to get kind of back in my creative zone, and just doing things that my inner child would have loved. That's like a huge one. Arts and crafts and just like little things like that I feel like is super important, and usually helps get me out of the funk. But like I said, it's something that happens to everyone, and honestly, sometimes just time helps, as lame as that is. It's soaking wet with Mod Podge and like obviously wrinkly because I'm just throwing it on, but I feel like this is kind of cute. I'm kind of obsessed. Okay, this question is fun. Do you plan on staying in Raleigh? So if you have followed me for a bit, you may know that, let me just give you backstory. I was born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. So was Deb. We met in high school. So we've always lived here, but we got married in 2020 and we decided to move to Austin, Texas. At the time, I had a podcast with my friend Haley, and we honestly, I think, just wanted to experience something new. We were newly married, and we just, I think both were like, oh my gosh, are we gonna just like live in Raleigh and like die here one day and just like never have like experienced something new? So I think we both just felt kind of crazy, and we're like, we're self-employed, like might as well just like go for it. So we moved to Austin, Texas for a while, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a super fun time in our life, but also I miss family so bad. Like Austin is, I think, like a 22-hour drive from Raleigh, so driving was kind of out of the question to go home, so we always had to book a flight. And if you like have lived far away from family, you know, like booking flights are obviously really expensive, and it just takes like a little bit more planning. Like I just remember being Mother's Day and me being so sad that like I couldn't be with my mom. Like, and yes, I could have booked a flight, I guess, beforehand, but I hadn't planned that out, and we run a business and we ship, and so it just was like really hard for us to like go home a lot. And obviously it was hard for family to come to us because, I mean, it's like a legit trip, you know? We did live farther away, but like you guys can probably pick up on, we missed family really bad. So we ended up moving back, I think in, was it 2022? I believe it was 2022. So I think we only lived in Austin for 2 years. So we lived in 2 different apartments there. Yeah, 2 different apartments. And Austin, Texas itself is so fun. We had some really great friends there. But again, we just missed home. So that being said, I do think we will probably always live in Raleigh. We go back and forth. We love our beach towns in North Carolina. Oh my gosh, Wrightsville is like my happy place. I grew up going there. That's actually where they filmed The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it's so happy. And that's only 2 hours away from Raleigh. And so we've kind of toyed with the idea of maybe like living at the beach one day. But even then, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be 2 hours away from our family. There's something so special about being able to go to church with them, or just like go meet up for dinner, or just stop in at my grandparents' house. So realistically, we probably will be in Raleigh forever and ever. Raleigh's so fun. Like, I love it. Okay, the next question is, how do you find inspiration for your designs? This is super fun. That's kind of tricky. I feel like I get inspiration from everywhere. Obviously, like whatever's trending at the moment is huge. Like, I don't know what colors are popular. Like for example, butter yellow is really popular right now, so incorporating that into my designs or apparel. And yeah, just keeping up with the trends. But also I think Pinterest, I'm such a Pinterest girl. I know I just mentioned that, but like I just feel like I have a really healthy relationship with it. I think it's really fun. Obviously, you never want to copy someone's work, but I think it's such a good platform to go on just to get inspired, or like find a new font, like just see a font that I love and be like, ooh, I want to try and write that myself. And I don't know, I just get really good inspo on there. I also will randomly get inspo when I'm like out at like a restaurant. For example, like a menu, like just seeing the fonts that they use for the menu, I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. Or just random colors. Like if you go through my camera roll when I'm out, a lot of times I'm taking photos of things around me that I'm just like, ooh, I love that, and I want to save that for later. One thing with me though is I've like, oh no, guys, it's shredding. So you know how I peeled off the napkin the last round? I wasn't doing that earlier, and now it's just like shredding. So I feel like you have to peel the 2 layers. No, it's literally just shredding off. No, guys, I should have been peeling that from the start. Okay, I'm literally just gonna peel, I think, all of this off, and we're gonna start fresh. Yep. That's the problem. Dang it. I knew I was missing a step. Oh my gosh. Good thing I didn't paint my nails because this is so messy. This craft is kind of a fail. Hopefully if you're working on a craft while you're watching this, your craft is not a fail, because, but hey, it's still fun and I'm learning, you know, just learn something new. Okay, what is my next question? Oh, this is fun. Love story / how you met Deb. So it's not like a crazy love story per se, but we both went to the same middle school and high school. I knew who Deb was before I actually knew Deb, just because, I don't know, I heard names. He was cute. I'm like, oh, I know Dev. I'm saying Dev. His name's Devin. I can't get this off. Y'all, this is so messy. So yeah, I knew who Dev was, but back in the day, Twitter was like a huge thing, at least at our high school. Maybe not y'all's. I feel like it just kind of depends like where you go to school and like what all the kids are using. But Twitter was a big thing, and this is kind of embarrassing. I don't know if I've even like talked about this, but there was a trend that was called like this, or favorite this, or like this, for an HDM is what it was called, and that abbreviation means honest DM. So basically Devin posted that and he was like this for an honest DM. That was like a trend back then, and I liked it. So if someone likes your honest DM, you have to give them an honest DM. And so I think for mine, he was like, you're really cute, like we should hang out or something like that. I don't know. And of course I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Like I thought he was really cute, and that's why I favorited it, hoping maybe we would like start talking. And so after that, it was history. He took me to Chick-fil-A. It was a snow day. It had snowed here, and he had a Jeep at the time, and I loved his car. I thought it was like so cool. And he drove me to Chick-fil-A, and we had like a lunch, and then he took me back to his house, which is kind of shocking thinking back on it. But I went to his house and we hung out in his basement and just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of hung out. It's kind of weird, like thinking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe like I went to his house that first day, but I did. And we had a great time. Like we were really good friends, I feel like, and then we just kind of like fell in love, and it was history from then on. I can't tear this. My hands are so gross. I have to wash my hands. Also too, I feel like it's important to note, because I feel like when you just hear about high school sweethearts, because Deb and I are high school sweethearts, it's easy just to be like, oh my gosh, they fell in love, and then it was happily ever after. And like, yes, it's been so happy, but not every moment has been happy. We broke up multiple times through high school, and I feel like that can be, I don't know, like I always see stuff on social media, like, I don't know, if he breaks up with you, don't get back together with him. But like, I don't know, when I think about it, like we both broke up with each other at certain points, and I'm like, we were immature, and I was like 16 years old, and he was 16 years old, and it's like, obviously you're gonna grow and just like change as people. And so naturally we had disagreements and moments where we were like, we shouldn't be together. But God always brought us back together, and we never broke up, I think, for more than like a week. It's not like we were apart for months. But I just feel like that's important to note, because it has not always been glamorous. Like obviously we fight, and like we broke up in high school. Okay, I peeled off the full layer of this, so let's hope this works. I wonder if I should be working with smaller sections. I feel like I should. This is so chaotic. Okay, next question. What is the process of making a product? Okay, this is really fun, and I feel like I get asked this a lot, so I really wanted to answer this one. It really depends. So like, let's say we're making a crew neck. So first step is I'm gonna obviously get my inspiration or have like my design idea. So maybe I went on Pinterest, or I have like a quotes page in my phone. Like maybe I just found, like went back and looked at that, and I'm gonna let her quote. So basically I'll use Procreate, and I'll draw out the design, or I'll use Adobe Fresco. I like using Fresco too. And I'll literally just like hand draw the design on my iPad. And then after that, I'm like, okay, this is perfect. This is how I want it. I then vectorize the design. So I throw my design, like my JPEG, into Adobe Illustrator. And you have to vectorize a design for apparel. If you were to like blow up a design, you know how it can get like really pixelated and blurry? Obviously, you don't want that for like apparel and things. So when you vectorize something, it makes it to where you can like scale it to any size, and it's always gonna be like crystal clear. So for example, a lot of times I export my files as like SVG files. And so once I have that exported, I'll then send that to my screen printer, and then I pick out what I actually want to put the design on. So maybe it's a Comfort Colors crew neck, or maybe it's just a Comfort Colors t-shirt, whatever it might be. I'll pick out like my colors, and then I'll pick the Pantones for my design. So let's say my design has 2 different colors of pink in it. I'll go and find the Pantone colors for those pinks that like match as close as I can. And basically Pantone colors is like the universal color system for like screen printing and just like manufacturing. That way they know the exact shade of pink you need, and so they'll mix up the ink and like make that actual color. It's super cool. And obviously for me, I love colors, so that's like a really important step, just because I want my colors to be like exactly how I envision them. And then after that, I send all of that information to them. I pick the sizes that I want to order. That can be really tricky, and that I feel like takes time of just like learning your customers. Like I know, for example, how many about like larges I'm gonna sell, or 3XLs I'm gonna sell. And so with time, I feel like that part gets easier, but it's still kind of overwhelming and a little bit tricky. And then after that, I just wait for them to make my crew necks or t-shirts or whatever. They ship them to me, and then we fold them, and then we launch them and get them to you guys. And every single product looks different, but I would say apparel is probably the most complex. So I thought I would share kind of the process for that. Let me know too in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Okay, the next question is, how do you balance illustrating for fun and your business? And I feel like that is a very good question, and I feel like it kind of goes too with the question of burnout, just because when I am only illustrating for the business, I feel like that is when I usually get burnt out, and I just feel like I'm a work machine and I like can't create anything just for myself. So a big part of that is at night. A lot of times I'll try and do like little hobbies and things. I don't always illustrate. I feel like because I draw a lot for work. That's not usually my go-to. Like sometimes I literally just like color in a coloring book, or I've been wanting to learn how to crochet. I tried last year and I just found it really hard, but I really want to like pick that up because I feel like that's such a mindless, like fun kind of activity that I can do. But for me, because I've made a job off of my hobby, I feel like I don't always want to do like lettering for fun, and I just want to do a hobby that like I don't feel pressured to like make money off of, and I feel like I can really turn off my work brain and just like soak up that. So that's where I think crocheting's fun. Reading, I've been loving reading, especially since I got my Kindle. I feel like reading has been really fun for me. Also baking, I love to bake, you guys know that. And so like that's another kind of fun creative thing I can do where I'm able to just like turn off my work creative brain and just enjoy like the Lilly fun creative side. Another thing too is at night I love to paint. Oh my gosh, I feel like that has been really fun for me. It's just like watercolor painting. I don't feel the pressure of work and it's just like a really fun time. Definitely making time for other hobbies though, I feel like is really, really important. This is not working. It's doing it still. This is a fail, y'all. What in the world? There's like another layer. So I tore off like the main white layer and then there's still another layer coming off. This isn't working. Okay, I think I'm gonna try just like a whole new egg. We're gonna start fresh with a different type of napkin because I'm like, maybe that tulip napkin just is like weird and not working. I don't know. Like I said, I already had these. They cost like $1. So we're just gonna experiment and try and see if this one works. But my next question I wanted to answer, there's a few of these and it was if Dev and I plan on having kids. This makes me so excited. Yes, we definitely plan on having children. I want to be a mom so badly. I feel like growing up, this might surprise people, but I didn't really have that like maternal instinct. I loved animals, and so I guess in a way I kind of had it. Like I loved little kitties and I love animals so much, and I loved babies too. But I feel like growing up, I didn't like play with baby dolls and stuff as much, whereas like some girls I feel like constantly had a baby on their hip, and that wasn't me. But the older I've gotten, oh my gosh, I just like, oh, I want to be a mom so bad. That is going to be the most important job for me in the world. But I think because of that, if I'm just being super honest with you guys, sometimes I get a little bit nervous because I know like that's going to be my, obviously my like first choice, and like they're going to be my everything, and so work will be kind of on the back burner, and I totally know that, and like that's how it should be. Like our children should come first. But I think that scares me because a huge part of just, I feel like my identity is in my work, and I know that that's probably not good, but that's totally how it is for me. And I know once you have children, like I don't know, I won't even be thinking about that stuff anymore, but it does make me sometimes like, that's such a big choice to make, like in terms of when we want to start trying for kids. But yes, we definitely want to have children. I don't think right now, I mean obviously whatever God wants is what's gonna happen, but we're not like actively like trying or anything. I feel like that's so weird to say, but yeah, that's kind of all I'm gonna say I guess on that. But there will definitely be little babies one day, and I get so excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, I could make like cutie little onesies or something. Like stop. I feel like that will like open up so much for the shop, so I kind of can't wait. But I kind of can't wait, so we're waiting. Okay, the next question, how do you combat the fear of putting your life on social media? I have social anxiety. Honestly, same. I've had social anxiety at many points in my life, and I feel like for me, like a lot of people I see like nowadays talking about just like post the content, like nobody cares, you know, that your people from high school don't care. And it's honestly kind of true, like that's good advice. I think for me, I had started really posting kind of like my art after high school. It did freak me out to do during high school, but now looking back, I wish I started earlier, because it's like, seriously, I don't talk to any of those people anymore. And even if like you do talk to them, the people that you talk to should support you. And if they don't support you, they probably shouldn't be a part of your life, because nobody needs that negativity. So I wish I started posting sooner. And so if you're nervous, it's like, who cares? Like look at all the people that have had so much success from social media. It's like if they let those like little negative voices in their head get to them, they would have never had the jobs that they do. I think about that for me. It's like I never would have had this business. Now I know all of you girls, and I feel like God has blessed me beyond belief. So do not be scared to post what you want to online. It's like, just go for it. What do you have to lose? It's like, who cares? Like if they laugh, whatever, they're mean. Like I know that sounds harsh, but it's like, they're mean. They shouldn't laugh at you. Like I've never looked at someone posting and been like, oh, they're trying so hard, or I don't know. I love seeing people post what they love or like their hobbies. So I say go for it, and don't let the enemy win, because you have talents that you should share with the world. I feel like the problem is when it starts to dry. So we're gonna see. if this little part dries okay. Okay, the next question is any trips coming up. I feel like I never travel. I don't feel very fun. I know, like, I feel like so many people I follow on social media, their lives, like, they're like out traveling to all these places, and I think it is so fun. I'm like, I want to do that, but also in my core, I'm kind of a homebody. Like, anytime we go on trips, I do love it. Like, we went to Los Angeles last year for work. We went to New York for work. Is that all we did? And then we went to like our beaches, like here in North Carolina. I think that's like all we did last year. And that was fun. And like granted, those are huge cities. So like obviously we prefer like a more chill trip. So like New York and LA are probably not like the #1 spots. But Dev and I, like, I don't know, I feel like we get so overwhelmed by planning trips. Like as much as I would love to like go out of the country or go on like some tropical trip or even to like Hawaii, like I know that's in the US obviously, I feel like there's so much planning needed and I just like don't want to plan it and take the time, which I know is kind of bad. So we don't really travel often. I've been really wanting to go to Florida. I have been like wanting to just be like in the sunshine and I want to like wear a bikini. And so who knows, maybe we'll have like a fun little Florida trip. Let me know in the comments if there's parts of Florida that you guys love. I feel like so many people love Sarasota. My voice sounds so weird. This is like the most I've talked, I feel like, in a week. I know people love like Sarasota. Obviously, like I love Disney. So I'm like, maybe we have like a little Orlando moment and go to Disney. Who knows? So maybe a Florida trip, honestly, for us and what we're most excited about is just trips to Wrightsville. I know I mentioned it earlier in this video, but like we live 2 hours away from like a beautiful beach that we both grew up going to. I love it. It's such a small town. And my grandpa is actually going to be moving there. So he's gonna have a house there. So I feel like we're gonna be in Wrightsville a lot. I want to have tons of vlogs there this summer, just like life on Wrightsville. I think it's gonna be really fun because it is such a charming beach town. I think you girls will love it. So hopefully vlogs to come of that. This is just not turning out the way I wanted it to. Okay, this is gonna be the last question I answer because it's the last one I have typed on here and my project's kind of a fail at the moment and I really want to wash my hands. But a few of you guys asked for my favorite at-home coffee recipes and I feel like that's so on brand and definitely like a good question to end on for me. Speaking of, I need a sip of my coffee. But I've been having so much fun romanticizing coffee at home. We got our pink Nespresso machine, I think this time last year. Nespresso sent it to us. That was crazy. That was like seriously probably one of the highlights for me and just like doing all of this. I'm like, I've loved Nespresso since like middle school, and to have them like recognize that and send me a machine and work with me last year was just crazy. But honestly, the Virtuo machine, like this is not sponsored, is like changed the game for us with at-home coffees. Nespresso has so many options for their Virtuo line and I just love it. Ever since I discovered you can like double press the 7.7 ounce pods to make it into like a concentrated shot of espresso, that changed everything. So I've been having so much fun making my coffee at home and making syrups at home. Oh my gosh, those are my favorite TikToks to watch. Is like anytime I see a girl making a like at-home coffee syrup, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna watch this and save this and I'm totally gonna make it. But my favorite coffee recipes right now are probably blueberry coffee syrup. I feel like I made that a lot over the summer and I'm like craving it right now. My friend Natalie, who also posts on here and like all the other social media platforms, she's been making her blueberry like coffee so much my mouth is like watering. So I definitely need to make a batch of that soon. And then what I'm drinking today is a sugar cookie latte. I made this recipe over Christmas and it is so good. It's super easy to make. You literally just do a 1/2 cup water, 1/2 cup brown sugar, simmer that on the stove, pull it off the heat, and then you do, I think a teaspoon of cake batter extract, and then I do a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and then like a little dash of salt, and it just tastes like a sugar cookie. It is so good. So that's what I made today, and it is just delicious. But I will try basically any at-home coffee syrup. I made the cherry one recently, if you guys saw me post about that in my other videos, and the cherry was so good. I'm just like loving fruit and coffee. Like I don't know if that's like the spring summer girl in me, but it's really good. I used to never want fruit in my coffee, but now I'm like obsessed with it. Well, this isn't really working. I'm glad that we tried it. This is our sign to try new things, but kind of maybe don't get your hopes up because guys, look at that. I can't. I'm determined though, like off camera, I'm gonna figure this out. I really am. And in my next video, I will give you guys an update because I know I can do this. I don't know why, like I'm peeling off that one layer and it's still like peeling. It's so weird. There's like so many layers in napkins, I guess. I feel like this one's gonna be better once it dries. Obviously, I haven't finished it. We'll see. Thank you so much for hanging out with me though. Even though this craft was kind of a fail, it was just really fun to be able to like actually sit and answer some questions. Make sure to follow me on Instagram because that's where I do like my little question boxes to get questions for videos like this. And I'm always doing polls and like asking you guys advice for the business and all the things. So make sure to follow me over there. Hopefully in this video though, you feel like you got a little bit more of a grasp of just like the business, me as a person, Dev and myself. I feel like in my vlogs, like obviously like they're personal because we're like hanging out, but I'm obviously not like sharing and like answering questions like this. So I definitely want to make it a goal to like answer more questions throughout the year, because I don't think I've filmed a video like this in so long. Like it's probably been years. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you girls in my next video. Bye.